mortgage rates have to come back to 5% for people to come back into the marketplace? Is that a myth? Now, my name is Jeff Marples. I'm a real estate broker, but I also follow the financial news. I think that is very important when you're working with a real estate professional, especially when you're talking about one of the largest acquisitions of your life, right? We want to make smart, educated decisions, and that is really where I get the bulk of my juice in the day, watching the financial markets and sort of playing and seeing how things go. Now, I've been doing this for 20 years, and I remember back before the Great Recession, when interest rates got to a certain point, it killed the markets. And if I recall, those interest rates were around 6%. They were around 5.85%. And at that time, I could see that there was a market shift in the market from a buyer positioning. We always look at the buyer interest. We always look at that to see where things are going to go. And in this market, I can guarantee you that things change very rapidly. It's absolutely amazing to me, actually. You know, in a normal year when you have seasonality, you could tell within a week that the market has turned and is hot. I remember back in 2012 when there was a line out the door for new construction, and I'm like, we're out of this market. We are in a hot market and it's just going to go. And you know that when you look at it. When you look at the statistics, 2012 was it. Now, I don't think that you need 4 years here to be able to react to the marketplace. It is, this whole economic cycle is a Fed-driven cycle. It is not the big reset that I think people are anticipating in real estate or you've heard in the past. What I actually think is happening is that there's a lot of volatility out there. Once the volatility gets out of the marketplace, we're going to have some stability. We have been in a down market pretty much solid for 6 months. Equity markets, we've been down all year, but we have also seen a rebound, and it could be a bear market bounce in this last quarter of the year in November and December from an equities point of view. But how does that all translate, right? I personally think that we are finding the stability, the baseline in the real estate market right now. Now, when we talk about interest rates and we talk about 5%, you know, realistically, I think that's going to be the new norm, or that's the trajectory that we're trying to get to. When the Fed was spoon-feeding candy to all of us during the COVID economy and pushing those very low interest rates, which I always thought was a little bit questionable because, heck, what goes up does come back down. And when you have the Fed pushing all these things, there are repercussions. But I do think that the economy is getting back into a position right now. And I don't think it's going to be a big bust like it was in 2008. It's a different scenario, and I'm going to get into that information in a different video. But right now, are we getting back to the 5%? Most likely. In the last 3 weeks alone, you saw, in a national sense, you saw that mortgage applications were up. We also saw that mortgage rates are going down. Yes, they're still high compared to last year. Yes, when economists love to say, oh, well, this year versus last year, you cannot look at that and think that that's normal at all. I mean, come on. Last year, we were still coming back from COVID, and last year we were still in a buying frenzy because everybody was leaving the city or the Bay Area or whatnot and going up to Tahoe or moving out to these tertiary cities or, you know, wherever in the middle of the woods because everybody can go out there and work remote, right? And that's just the simple truth. The Bay Area, however, it's the Bay Area. And I'm talking about the entire area, right? We are always going to be fairly well insulated here in our local market, as opposed to those other areas that saw incredibly high double-digit appreciation. And where are those going to go? They're going to come screaming back, because realistically, the people that bought in some of those markets that escalated incredibly high, they might be great communities, but they are not the Bay Area. So what goes up comes down, right? Absolutely. Today's market is not 6 months market. Today's market, we're just going to be bumping along here for a little bit. Once the volatility in the overall economy is flushed out, which could take a little bit, could take 6 months, 8 months, not necessarily a year, but I think that there's going to be a strong rebound, right? So right now in today's marketplace, people are testing those interest rates, right? My phone keeps ringing, but I think people, buyers, are very conscientious of what's going on. They see the price reductions that are going on in the overall economy or the real estate market. And I do think that those lows are being tested right now and into first quarter next year. We're testing the bottom because the reality is the days on market on some units, even the ones I saw today, 99 days on market, already with the price reduction. So what I would suggest people do, and this is sort of a strategy that I think a lot of people are really considering, is this. Yes, interest rates are going to be down. I could pretty much say in 2 years, interest rates are going to be lower than they are today, right? Because the overall economy is going to be better. But if the economy goes into recession next year, and most people are going to say, yeah, it's going to go into recession. What does the Fed do at that point? Well, they lower interest rates. When you have inflation coming down, they're not going to be raising those rates as much. You're going to get more stability in the marketplace, which means that if you're buying a higher interest rate loan right now, it is better for you as a purchaser to push the prices down of the purchase price now, get the unit, the house, the condo that you want now, and then refinance later. You know why? Because the market right now, I wouldn't say it's dead. There are things that are happening, but it is one of these situations where, you know, the window's only going to last for X amount of time. I don't know that time horizon, but the window's open right now for buyers to push those prices down till you can get an overall baseline of the real estate values in your local area. And then you're at a baseline. That baseline is going to be there for a little bit longer, but then you could refinance that loan. And then in 2 years, the market's going to increase in value again, right? So from a certain point of view, a lot of buyers are going to say, yeah, I could accept my interest rate as long as you are comfortable with your payment, but push your price down. I would rather have a buyer right now in today's market push that price down as low as you can go in order to be able to get a really good purchase price, because at a certain point you're buying at the low, right? You might be paying more on the mortgage, but you could refinance that later. There is a term in the marketplace, and I'm hoping I could get this right. You know, you marry the house and you date the rate. Maybe it's the other way around. You date the rate and you marry the house. The reality, especially in San Francisco, Marin County real estate, some areas in the Bay, you know, you're talking about buildings that are 100 years old. You're talking about buildings that have been renovated, but might have been renovated 2 years ago. They might have been renovated in the 80s, right? Every property is unique. And especially for those people with family, kids, you know, and you want to get into the good school district, well, you know, your inventory is going to shrink. So you still have to be out there and be diligent and strike when the iron's hot, right? As long as you're comfortable with the mortgage payment. That is the key thing in this whole thing. And then just refinance later on. I do think that there's more stability in the market, clearly, than there was even 3 months ago. And I think going forward, it's just going to get stronger and stronger. I think there's just, there's going to be up days and down days in the equity markets, but at the same time, we're flushing the system out. And that is exactly what I heard from Jay Powell's speech just yesterday. All right. I hope that helps you. Please, once again, click those notification buttons. If you have questions, if you want to get a hold of me, my website, jeffmarples.com. You can pick up my phone and give me a call, text me. I am here for my people. I love to be able to help people. That is why I do what I do, because that is the best sort of accolade I have, is at the end of a transaction, somebody absolutely loves what I've done for them. I've changed people's lives. Thank you so much for watching. You have a good day.